Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram Siya Ram, Ram 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 Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram Siya Ram.
Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Veeryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Today we start a very interesting but complicated topic of philosophy, which is the law of karma. It's very, very important for us to study this, mainly to not misunderstand it. Because we have so many superstitions around the law of karma that it's not helping anyone. Learning about the law of karma generally is like doing an MBBS from WhatsApp. It doesn't work like that. Technical subjects have to be studied. You can't just take one piece of information from here, one piece of information from there, and think you got it. In today's world, karma has come largely to mean that what goes around comes around. Means you do something good to somebody, then you will have something good done to you. And if you do something bad to somebody, then so that's not incorrect, but it's very, very limited. It's a very, very shallow interpretation of this glorious law that covers not only your good and bad, but every single action that you are performing in this world. It's not just so simple. You do good things and good things will happen to you. You do bad things and bad things will happen to you. Yes, it is true, but it's a very, very childish way of looking at it. Childish means very limited way of looking at it. So we are going to now study law of karma from ground up. Like, why do we even say that there's a law of karma? What is the reasoning behind it? How does it fit into everything else that we know? We're going to study it from ground up. This is a serious study. Those who were expecting, I don't know what, some sort of Hindi movie out of it, it's not happening. Just from ground up, we're going to study. Because the role of Vedanta is always to help us develop our perception better, to expand our perception, to be able to make sense of more things. And with this tool called law of karma, we can make sense of all that's happening around us, to the extent a human being can, of course. So very, very carefully and seriously, this subject has to be studied. It is not a joke. This is one of the difficult topics of philosophy. And you're going to study it properly. Okay, you all are all ready for that, willing to put in all the effort that it's going to require to understand these ideas?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Wonderful. Please be aware that there is effort involved in this thing. Great. Prashant, thank you. So now let us start. Okay, for how many people are new? How many people have never attended class before? So have no idea what actually goes on here. Is there anybody who is brand new today, never attended class? Madhusudan, are you new? I think all the other names, I know everybody else. Madhusudan, are you new? Surojit Roy, are you new? I think these are the only two names that don't seem familiar. Okay, so if you are new, what we do is we will read one paragraph. Somebody from the class will read a paragraph and summarize that paragraph. And then we will discuss that further. First, you put it in the briefest possible way, and then we expand it. And slowly through this process, hopefully we'll get an overall understanding of what the author is trying to convey.
Your device is ready to pair.
Is somebody saying anything? Right. Who will read the first paragraph?
Your Verve speaker has now been connected.
So this is chapter 17 of this book, Vedanta Treatise, called The Law of Causation. The first topic in it is the supreme law. So who will read it? Tinky, since you have come to class after a long time, you want to read the first paragraph?
So, Janki ji, me?
Yes.
Okay. Hari Om Janki ji.
Yes.
The supreme law, the universe is an expression of innumerable laws of nature. They are physical, chemical, biological, psychological, philosophical, and several other laws. These are all impeccable, infallible, each having a cause-effect relationship. A cause for an effect and an effect for a cause. The meticulous functioning of the countless laws is the law of causation. They seem to bow in obeisance to some mysterious controller, governor. That unknown, unseen governor is indicated as Brahman, the supreme God, the infinite power that holds the laws together, acting like a monarch to whom obedient subjects pay homage. The English poet John Milton puts this idea across succinctly in his sonnet on his blindness. His state is kingly, thousands at his bidding speed, and post over land and ocean without rest.
Thank you. Will you summarize it?
So there are innumerable laws of the physical, biological, different aspects of life. And each of these is like they are fixed laws. If there is a cause, there is an effect. And when we see an effect, then there must be a cause for that. And that is called the law of causation. And there is, who is that governor who kind of controls this? That is Brahman, that is the supreme Lord, which holds all these laws together. And all of us need to bow down to this because there is no exception for anybody. We will all get the consequences, the effects of whatever causes we create.
Really? Right. So what did we learn? We are starting from ground up. So when we look ground up, what do you see? You see this world, and this world is full of laws. Laws pertaining to different things of life. It could be to your body, to your mind, to chemistry, to anything. To everything, there's a law, a natural law. Please distinguish this from your judicial laws. These are not judicial laws. These are not human created laws. These are simply laws that exist. Whether we exist or not, that law will exist. Like the law of gravity, it will exist. The laws around temperature, they will exist. Okay, got nothing to do with us. This whole world is nothing but a bunch of natural laws. They are laws of nature. They govern the external world, they govern the internal world. Internal means internal to us humans. So this whole world is nothing but laws. Now, when you say laws, what exactly do you mean? Law implies that there's some kind of causation. Then if X happens, Y happens. Right? So if your skin tears, blood comes out. Right? If X happens, Y happens. If an apple falls from the tree, it will seek the ground. It's a law. You can't. It cannot. Apple cannot fall from the tree and then go upwards. It doesn't work like that, right? So when you say there's a law, you're implying that there's a causation relationship. All laws tell us only a causal relationship. So there's a cause, there's something that happened, and therefore something else has to happen. Okay, remember, we're doing this from ground up. So we have to see how this is fitting into the whole thing. So whenever X happens, Y happens. Now these laws are infallible. And it seems almost like there's some kind of governor around. Because if in our human world, if you know that a place is being run very well, then you say then there must be some administrator, some governor. Like everybody follows the rule in Singapore. Even Indians follow rules in Singapore. Why? Because the governor there is very, very strong. The administrator is strong. And now when we see the world, we see that there are no exceptions to these laws. They're followed meticulously. There's never happens that you drop an apple and it goes skywards. It never happens. Right? It will always go groundwards. So meticulously it appears that these laws are followed. It appears that nobody is allowed to violate them. It appears that whatever happens, those laws will continue. So we posit that there must be some governor, because that's how it is in our world, that laws are followed only when they are administered. So we posit that there must be some kind of governor because of whom these laws are being followed, and we designate that governor with a name. We call him Brahman. We don't know whether it's him, her, it, we don't know all this stuff, but we just call that unknown thing, whatever that is that makes these laws work. We call it Brahman. We have no characteristics to give it. Let's call it Brahman. The purpose of all this is merely to establish that these laws work without exception. So, without exception. Now, you may say, many people will say when they hear this, but every law has an exception. That is not true. There is no exception to these natural laws. Then why do we say that there is an exception for every law? Do you all know why we say that? The exception proves the rule. No? Why we say it? We say it because of a very, very strange phenomenon called which we can call the change in language. The exception proves the rule. In Old English, proves means tests. Over a period of time, proof came to mean what we think is the proof. But in Old English, the word proof meant to test. So what this sentence actually says is that if you want to test whether the law is true or not, find an exception. If you find an exception, the law does not hold. That's what that line means. But because the usage of language changes over time, this phrase has come to be misunderstood. The exception proves the rule means that if you do not find an exception, only then do you know that the law is correct. Please note this because everybody seems to think that exception proves the rule. Yes, it does. If there is no exception, then the rule is proven. Okay, so please remove this concept from your general comprehension of things. Right? So far, so good, everyone. Right? All the world is ruled by laws. Okay, that is clear. That is obvious. These laws are infallible. That is also clear. You never see that you heat water, but it went cold. Does that ever happen? No, infallible. Every time you apply heat to water, it has to boil. Or it has to get heated. Right? These are the 2 points that we studied. One, that there are laws that govern the universe. Two, these laws are infallible. And we also understood that when we say law, we mean
Natural laws.
yes, correct. That's true. But the word law implies
Causal relationship.
Causation.
causal relationship. Very good. When X happens, Y happens. Right? We are all together up to this point. Okay, great. Yes, Deepa, do you have a question?
Yes, so regarding the Brahman point, putting Brahman as the governor, won't that make Brahman have some sort of intelligence?
Yeah. So you have to not see it like that. You have to see it only as expressing that these laws are infallible. That's all it's trying to say.
Okay, so because Brahman is constant, these laws are constant.
Yeah, I mean, in human life, laws are administered by a strong administrator. Therefore, since these laws are working beautifully, therefore, there must be some strong administrator. Basically,
Okay.
it's only saying that the laws are infallible. Don't go any further into it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Who will read the next paragraph? Mahesh, you want to read the next paragraph?
Okay. The phenomenon of this world is therefore an endless expression of cause and effect, the incessant play of the law of causation, which has been functioning from the very beginning. A coconut seed always produces a coconut tree, and a coconut tree produced a coconut seed. A chicken produced an egg, and an egg a chicken. Where there is no cause and effect, there is no world. So essentially, it continues the idea that cause and effect is something that is very central to the functioning of the world, and it has been there from the very beginning. So he gives an example that an egg will produce a chicken, and the chicken will lay an egg, as an example. And this is an indefatigable law.
Okay, very good. So if you have to put this paragraph as a formula, what would you put?
Every cause has an effect.
Okay, you can say that. But as a formula, then you have to express it with mathematical symbols. You can say world is equal to cause and effect. If you remove cause and effect, there is no world. That's the explanatory line. What is the formula? World is equal to cause and effect. Right? When there's no world, there is no cause and effect. When there's no cause and effect, there's no world. That's what he's saying. So as long as there is a world, there will be cause and effect. When will cause and effect not be there? When there's no world. Surojit Roy, do you have a question?
No, ma'am, I was trying to answer the question which you said,
Oh,
which
okay.
you asked.
Oh, sorry, what was going to be your answer?
I was going to say that the same cause will have the same effect. It's not going to differ. That's if my understanding is right.
That's correct. Yes, Deepraj.
So it's not always true that an chicken like egg and then from that egg chicken will come, because otherwise evolution would not be a thing.
Wait, you're just in introduction. So just go with 99.9%. About how that happens, we will come later. Right? So
Another question. How are we defining world here?
cause and effect.
That's the definition, because
So this is what this paragraph says. The world is an English expression of cause and effect.
so in this world is defined as cause and effect.
It's equal to, because when there's no world, there's no cause and effect, and when there's no cause and effect, there's no.
Okay, so please tell me if this is an irrelevant example, but in the dream world, there does not seem to be cause and effect.
To whom?
I mean, to the dreamer even. The
No,
dreamer, no, like 1 second the apple will go up, the next second the apple will go down.
but
Even
the
though
dreamer,
dreamer, it seems
no,
pretty.
for the dreamer, that's completely normal. Do you in the dream say, oh, last time it went up, now it's going down? No, the baker said. Anyway, don't go there right now. Follow
Okay.
this line of
Correct. Okay, but okay, so world is defined as cause and effect. So
yeah, this is what this paragraph says. And this world is equal to cause and effect. When there is a world, whenever there's a world, there will be cause and effect. Whenever there is no cause and effect, there cannot be a world. Okay.
thank you.
Vidushi?
Chandraji, there's a line that says which has been functioning from the very beginning. But then how would the first cause exist?
You can't ask that now. As long as the world is there, cause and effect will be there. When there's no cause and effect, there'll be no world. How did the world come is another chapter that we will have to study separately. As long as the world is there, cause and effect will be there. How did it come originally? You have to do the next course on how did the world come. Okay.
So from the beginning refers to after the world exists.
Yeah, the world and cause and effect exist simultaneously. There's no cause before the world exists. But let's not go there. We'll come to it. Don't worry. Next course will be on that. As of now, we are examining the world as it is. Surojit Roy?
Can I ask Shaurajit? It's Shaurajit. If I may ask, that one thing is, can we derive world is the effect of a cause?
No.
No. Means as Vidushi asked, like from the beginning, means I'm asking like the existence of the world is the effect of a cause. That's what can we
You can't
derive?
say
No.
that. You can't. But we won't do
Okay.
this right now. Why that
Okay.
very question is wrong, we will do when we're discussing the creation of the world.
Oh,
We'll do that in the next course. Now we are assuming world is there and what is happening in the world. Okay. Because you can't too many complicated things at one time, total confusion. Okay. So just now that we're here, this is what is happening. Okay. Right. Who will now read the next paragraph? You all are not volunteering.
I read.
Please. Go ahead.
You muted, Canary.
Sorry. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
The law of causation governing the macrocosm applies equally to the microcosm. Every human being is subject to this law. It operates at the physical, mental, and intellectual levels. If the physical body has gone through a proper discipline of yoga and exercise, it would presently be hale and healthy. And if the body has had no proper physical training, been sensually indulgent, it would be pale and sickly. Similarly, the flow of thoughts and emotions towards the positive or negative would determine the nature of the present inner personality. So, what you are now is a result of what you have been doing in the past, dating back from this moment. And what you would be in the future would depend upon what you do from this moment. It is an irrefragable law. So, this paragraph says the law of causation not only governs the macrocosm but also the microcosm, that is the individual. It says how this law operates at the gross and the subtle level. The gross is the body, that giving an example that if you have been taking care of your body, then you will be healthy. Similarly, if you don't exercise, then you will suffer from illnesses. Also, how emotions affect your inner personality. And the second thing it says is what you are at present is the result of your past actions. So basically, the effect is because there has been a cause. And even it says that from now on, whatever actions you do will determine your future.
Okay, now, can you summarize it? Tell us one sentence that will summarize this paragraph. You can choose the sentence from the paragraphs.
What you are now is the result of your past actions, and what you will be in the future will be the result of your present actions.
That's not the summary of the paragraph. What is the summary of the paragraph? That may be the most interesting line, but what is the summary of the paragraph? Anybody wants to help Kinnari?
The law of causation governing the
Next line.
macrocosm applies equally to the macrocosm.
Very good. Okay, that is your main line of it. Ravi Chabra, you had something to say?
Yeah, it is often said that our future is what is modified of the past, or you can say our future is present modified by the past. So that is often said. My question here is that we say that whatever we have done in the past, we have to bear the fruit of that. That is a law. So the question is, what all actions of the past would contribute to the present effect? Is it possible to find out or to attribute? Because then what happens, in a lighter way, one can take precaution, because we will not know what we have done in the past has caused us to suffer, or maybe we'll feel happy about it. So that question has been lingering in my mind for quite some time. So I would request you to throw some light on that. Thank you.
Yes, I am completely determined to throw light on that. It will take about 16 weeks. So we'll go slowly. This is a course that is meant to answer that question. On day one, we can't, because you have to go. We are starting from the beginning because there's so much associated around this thing that most of our time we are going to spend in just removing all the misunderstandings. But let's go step by step. What is our flow of thought so far? Number one, the world is made up of laws. Okay. What does that mean? It means cause and effect. And so far, the author has given us laws pertaining to the world, to the macrocosm. Now he's introduced the next idea, which is these same laws pertain to the humans as well, internally to the microcosm. That's all he said so. Let us follow his line of thought and let's see how nicely he can build the whole thing up and come to a conclusion. Hopefully, at the end of your course, you will have a good grounding in what this law means and what this law doesn't mean. So we'll do it step by step. Now, what have we learned? That those laws of cause and effect, which are there in the external world, are also there in the internal world. He's given us examples: physical, mental, action-wise. So we will, just to assure us that what he's saying is true. That's all. That there are laws pertaining to the human beings. Right? So this is where we have come so far.
Will it be right to conclude that we should realize the fact that all our thoughts, negative or positive, will have some implication, A, and B is that once you realize, just focus on positive thoughts and let nature take its own course. Will that be right? Will that be right assumption or presumption?
I'm glad to see you have a lot of enthusiasm for this subject, but it would not be right to conclude anything at this point. At this point, we're simply making the base of the study. So do not have any conclusions. Do not accept it. Do not reject it. Nothing. Follow the line of thought. The world is full of laws. And just like the world is full of laws, the individual also functions by laws. This is what he has said so far. Now let us go step by step and understand. Right. Is this clear up to this point? Just as the world has, similarly, human has, individual has. Now, what doesn't have the law pertaining? That is our next part. Is everything subject to the law? No, something is not subject to the law. What is that thing? Okay, who will read the next paragraph? Reshma. Okay, go ahead.
The above law has no sway over the Supreme Self. It can only control the material equipments, affect your physical, mental, and intellectual personalities, and not the self within. Your real self is above the law of causation. It is not subjected to cause and effect. You must therefore leave the precincts of your body, mind, and intellect and get to your divine center. Be yourself. You will then govern the world instead of the world governing you. So, the Supreme Self is above the law of causation. That's why we must realize ourselves to be above the laws.
Very good. So if you have to put this paragraph in one word, what would that one word be? Very good. You did a good job. But what would that one word be? Okay, anybody in class can say.
Exception.
Very good. Excellent. This is the exception. What has he told us so far? World is only cause and effect. So does that mean even that there's some cause and effect associated with God? No, no cause and effect can be associated with Brahman. So your own self, the absolute reality, is above the law of causation. So your job with reference to learning the cause of the law of causation is not so much learning the cause of the law of causation, but
getting beyond it.
Getting beyond it?
Very good. Eventually, as spiritual sadhaks, that's what it's meant for. But you cannot get beyond something that is not comprehended. Right? You have to get to it, then you can get beyond it. So we are going to learn about it so that we can cross it. That is the reason we are learning about it. So everything in this world is governed by the law of causation. The self is not governed by the law of causation. If you realize yourself, if you become the self, if you achieve that state, you also will no longer be governed or trapped or bound by the law of causation. Yes, Shurojit.
Shurojit.
How am I saying it right? Not yet?
No, no, not it.
Okay. So in 2
Shaurajit.
weeks I'll get it. Shuroji.
You say Shaurav instead of Shaurav, you say Shaurajit. Then it's my father has put me in a trap. It's with my name. When I had applied for my police verification for going abroad, the DC had asked me, the deputy commissioner asked me, why have you kept such a tough name? It's actually related to Shauro, means Saura Jagat. So Shauro Ji. I have to explain. Ha.
Shuroji.
You can call me Roy.
Okay.
That's better.
That's easier.
Ah.
Go ahead.
What I wanted to ask is this the thing which is called transcendental process of moving from self to means knowing the self and going above?
There's no concept in Vedanta of knowing the self and going above. Knowing the self is it. There is no going above that. That is the highest.
Okay. Yeah, self-realization is the ultimate realization.
That's
Thank you.
okay. So who will read the next paragraph? Okay, so far so good. Everybody, we are on the same flow of thought. Everybody is followed. What has happened so far? What has happened so far? World is equal to laws. Laws means causations. World is, it's not just that the world, thank you. It's not just that the world is laws. We are part of this world, the microcosm, the individual. We are also nothing but an expression of these laws. The only thing which is an exception to these laws is the self. Right? We're all together up to this point. Now let's see what else he tells us. Reshma.
The law of causation governing humanity falls under two categories. They are known as the law of destiny and the law of karma. The law of destiny deals with your past and present status, whereas the law of karma covers your past, present, and future. It covers the law of destiny and goes beyond into the future to explain your life in its entirety. Study it on its own merits. Examine the logic and reason that supports it. By a thorough grasp of the immaculate functioning of the law, you can steer your personality to the highest order of life. So it is telling that the law of causation basically has two categories, law of destiny and law of karma. A law of destiny deals with the past and present, and law of karma covers past, present, and future. So by studying both of these, we get a grasp over the entire functioning of life, and we can choose how to bring our life to the highest order.
Very nice. So just following the line of thought, what is the main idea in this paragraph?
Karma?
Destiny and karma.
Okay, what is the main idea? Follow the line of thought. We are going in a particular thing, right? So given that, then what's the main idea?
Steering your personality.
We are not discussing steering personality, remember here. What is our main flow of thought? So what's the main idea in this paragraph? Obviously,
The law of
this-
causation
the-
governing humanity falls into two categories.
The two laws which govern the humanity.
very right. So we were discussing that there's so many laws in the world. Okay. Then we discussed that those laws are applicable to the individual, but not to the self. Correct? Now it's saying when you're talking of causation in terms of the individual, there are two laws, karma, destiny and karma. So what is your main idea here? That in the microcosm, that means in the individual, in you and I, how does this law of causation function? It functions within the gambit of two laws, karma, destiny and karma, except that they're not really two laws. Why not? Because destiny.
If I may explain, please.
Hmm?
Can I?
Go ahead.
Means karma is the larger circle inclusive of destiny.
Correct.
Karma is exhaustive and destiny is inclusive.
Karma
Right?
is
Exhaustive means it's covering past, present, and
exhaustive,
future.
and destiny
And is exclusive
exclusive.
for past and present,
Okay, you can
or
say
inclusive.
is exhaustive, and limited. Destiny is limited. Why is it limited?
Limited, yeah.
Talking of the present
Past and present.
and past, yes. And why is karma exhaustive? Because it's doing past, present, and what is going to happen in the future. Right? Okay. So far so good. Shall we go on further now? Right. Now we are going to start doing the first law, which is the law of destiny. Now, who will very briefly tell me what we have done so far? Just so that we know that Gayatri Murthy, will you tell us what we have done so far?
Ma'am, I've come in after a long time, gap actually.
Yes, I'm catching
So,
hold of everybody who came in today after a long time.
so today
As you
I
can
thought
see.
that, 1 or 2 sessions, let me just get totally absorbed by what is being said. But anyway, nevertheless, we are talking about the causal and effect relationships of both microcosm and macrocosm and microcosm. And when it comes to the microcosm, it is related to the individual self. And this individual self, again, is bound by the law of, again, causation, where we are elaborating on, the law of causation as destiny and karma. And
Well,
karma is, of course, exhaustive, dealing with past, present, and future. And destiny deals with past and present.
well,
So I think this much I've understood. I hope so.
good. You have absorbed yourself in the class.
Thank
Give yourself full marks. Didn't take as many classes as you thought it would be.
No, I have to catch up now.
We are all
Thank
catching up. Don't worry.
Thank
So,
you, ma'am. Thank you,
clear,
ma'am.
everybody is clear on this. There is a law of causation. There is a law. There are laws governing this world. All laws means cause and effect. That means when X happens, Y happens. Not only is the world governed by this, but the individual, we are also part of the world, right? So we are also governed by the same law. The self within us is not governed, but we are governed. That means our body, mind, and intellect is governed. And how is it governed? By the two laws, destiny and karma. Right? Everybody is on track as far as this is concerned. Anybody has any problem with reference to this? All good? Yes, Aruna.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I can. Yes, I'm following it. I'm interested in this because of the idea that what am I trying to say?
Aruna,
with
just ask your
karma.
question.
Oh, okay. With destiny, is it almost as though the cause and effect of karma is going to establish itself unless you get in touch with yourself? Because I've had situations where I thought intuitively, oh, this and this might happen, and it has happened, and I look back and I think, oh, I didn't stay within myself. I didn't do what I thought was right. I didn't. Is that the distinction with karma and destiny, do you think, or
Let
is
us
that
study.
too big?
No,
Is that too
why are we
confusing a
running?
question? Is that
Go
too
slowly, go
confusing?
slowly. So
Go
far,
slowly.
what we have discussed is that much clear.
Okay.
So if that is clear, then we will slowly build up. I know you all have all come here to understand karma and
I know.
destiny.
Yeah. So slow down and be patient. Yeah.
But
Okay.
unless we go from bottom up and go systematically, we will mess up when we come to the top. So very systematically, we're going to go through this.
Okay. So I need to be patient. Yeah.
Be patient,
Okay.
because that's the only way to learn it. You see, what is happening in the world is people want quick answers, but the quick answer doesn't give you the full answer, unfortunately.
No. Because people say there's general stuff like, oh, what goes around comes around, and people put it very simply, don't they?
Yes, that's not, we are not doing that. You don't need a course to know what goes around comes around.
Comes around,
We
yeah.
are doing it properly from now on. That is the
Okay.
difference between Vedanta studies and WhatsApp University.
Yeah. So this is the hard work, is the patience as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
all of it, correct.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So now let us start. If everyone's clear up to this point, we're repeating the flow of thought so far, so that nobody goes off. Try to always stay with the flow of thought, because that's the way to learn anything. World functions on laws. Laws means cause and effect. Not only the world, the individual also functions on cause and effect. When you're talking about the individual functioning on cause and effect, two things have to be understood. Number one, the self is not concerned with cause and effect. The self is above it. And two, in terms of the individual, the law of causation is law of destiny and law of karma. Now, Jai Shri. So many new messages. Things happen. Jai Shri. What does highest order mean? Highest order refers to self-realization. Getting out of the bondage of the law of karma and destiny, which is enlightenment, self-realization, moksha, whatever. The Indian term is moksha. That is freedom, liberation. What are you being liberated from? You are being liberated from this cause and effect. All right. So now let's go. Law of destiny. Who will start law of destiny? Bhumi, would you like to read the first paragraph? Bhumi? Okay, Bhagwati?
Hari Om Janki ji.
Hari Om.
Law of destiny. The constitution of each human being is a cumulative effect of his past thoughts, desires, and actions. His past activities are the cause. His present personality is the effect. The effect is called destiny. Your destiny at any time is therefore the result of your past. Your past activities are fate accompli. You have no control over what you have accomplished earlier. You cannot alter them now. You will have to face the result set by those causes. Hence, your present destiny is fixed. You naturally become a victim of your own past activities. If you have had a proper course of education, you would be a literate now. If not, if you have neglected your study and learning, you would be an illiterate. Likewise, if you had gone through a proper course of spiritual discipline, you would command success and peace in your life. If, however, you had chosen a material and sensual life, you would be mentally agitated and sorrowful. You reap what you sow. This is the law of destiny. I can summarize with the only two words. You reap what you sow. This is law of destiny.
Okay. Can you find a more precise line? This line he has only added because people feel comfortable with it. They know, everyone knows it. So what is the most important line here?
The effect is called the destiny.
Okay.
Because we are studying law of destiny here, I just thought.
Okay.
You want me to summarize the whole?
Yeah, please do.
Someone who's not muted.
Yeah, whoever is not muted, please do so.
The constitution of each human being is the cumulative effect of our past thoughts, desires, and actions. The past activities are our cause, and our present personality is the effect. So here's my example he has given. If we have not studied earlier, we would have stayed as illiterate. And if we had studied earlier, we now stay as an illiterate. And yeah, it implies to spiritual discipline also. If you had a proper course on spiritual discipline, you will be successful in life and you will have peace in your life. And if you had not studied spiritual study and you have chosen a material or sensual life, you will be staying mentally agitated and sorrowful.
Very good. Now identify the line which is most important.
You have no control over what you have accomplished or the present. You don't have, it is already done.
Anything else? Which is the most important line?
Your present destiny is fixed.
Sorry?
Yeah, your present destiny is fixed.
Your present destiny is fixed.
Most important line, which you are all ignoring because nobody is paying attention to what he is saying.
Your destiny at any time is therefore the result of your past.
The constitution of each human being is a cumulative effect of his past thoughts, desires, and actions.
Really excellent. Please read carefully. Very, very carefully. When we are talking of destiny, we are talking about what? The constitution of every human being is the cumulative effect of his past thoughts, desires, and actions. So when we are saying destiny, it's referring to what?
What you are now today.
Okay, be correct, but be more precise.
Refers
Give me one
to
word.
your
Past.
thoughts or
What you have done, what you are today is the
One
result
word.
of your past
One word.
actions.
One word.
Action.
Result.
Personality.
Result.
What did you say, Vidushi? I didn't.
Personality.
Ah, very good. Aruna, you also got personality. Very good. Please pay attention to what is being said. Desires overrun us even during study time. Please pay attention. Put that paragraph again, Omkar, please. The constitution of each human being is the cumulative effect of his past thoughts, desires, and actions. So which is the word important over here? One word.
Constitution.
Constitution. When we think of destiny, we are thinking of
Effects and
what
all
type
that.
of effects?
Consequences. Yeah.
What type?
External.
External. Yeah.
External. Very good, Vidushi. Whenever we are thinking of karma and destiny, all of us are full of just external consequences. So your first important learning for today should be the constitution of each human being is the cumulative effect of his past thoughts, desires, and actions. Who you are today, not what you have. Who you are today is the result of what you have thought or done in the past. Why are we studying law of destiny or law of karma?
To go beyond them.
To go beyond it?
Very good. to go to the self, right? So we are not so concerned about what all is happening outside of us. How much money I got, or is there a war going on, or I don't know, all sorts of. Did COVID come? Why did it come to me? All the time, even when we come to the spiritual world, our focus is external. So when we hear karma, we hear destiny, we are thinking about some external happenings. So he begins the law of destiny by saying the constitution of each human being is the cumulative effect of his past thoughts, desires, and actions. Most of us have mentally ignored the word constitution. Rarely would anyone even see this word. Okay, so please notice how important you are in the study of these things. The law of karma becomes a superstition because we are not paying attention to what it's saying. So now, even after coming, it's quite possible that we will continue talking of destiny as a external event. I had to go through this my family member had to go through this ailment. I had to marry this person, whatever. But he started by saying your constitution. And the moment that clicks into position for you, you will understand that this whole thing is not so tough after. But that has to click into position first. Then you begin to see how clear it is to understand that who I am today is the result of what I have done in my past, what I have thought, what I have done, what I have felt also. All that cumulative thing has made me what I am today. And this person that I am today is getting results because of what I am doing. If I have learned to think, then today whatever I do will give me proper results. If I have not learned to think, then whatever I do today, I will get improper results. So who I am is being created by my past. My past meaning what I have done, what I have thought. That who I am determines what I'm going to acquire, what I'm going to get, what my circumstances are going to be. Okay, so very carefully we have to understand this. You will require to pay a lot of attention. Because like I've told you before, the biggest thing that we have to do in our learning of the laws of karma and destiny is
Getting rid of the misunderstandings.
getting rid of the misunderstanding. And if we can achieve that, it's a very simple thing. In Vedanta, everything is extremely simple. The difficult part is removing the past incorrect notions. Otherwise, it will just become commonsensical to you. It's that simple, right? So what did we learn in our very first thing? That the constitution of each human being is the cumulative result of his past thoughts and actions. So what is the cumulative result of his past thoughts and actions? Is his
Personality, constitution.
His present personality. That's what he said. His present personality is the effect. This effect of who you are right now is called destiny. Now, what is important for us to note, everybody to note, is how we missed what he is saying. And mostly when we read, when we study, we don't listen to what the author is saying. We are simply repeating in our minds what we know already. Therefore, no new knowledge ever goes in. So pay attention. Sorry, you have a question? Are you muted? I can't hear you.
Yeah. Ma'am, can I give an example from my life regarding this, what you're reading and your knowledge clash? Actually, I train students for IELTS exam. And in this English language test, there's a reading passages. So most of the time, the students go wrong because they are not paying attention to the focus group. They are trying to relate it to what they already knew. And that's what exactly happens in our life.
Correct. So you
We
can
try
see
to relate with
you're
our
not
past
just
experience.
those, yeah, it's not just those students, these students also.
Me too. Me as well.
So it is a fact, and it's very, very difficult to take in new knowledge, especially as you grow older in life. Youngsters, it's much easier. But if you've grown older, the past is just playing, and messing up the present. But we will.
I also believe in one thing: when you learn something new, you have to unlearn a lot of things.
Correct.